welcome back to the channel, everybody. Well, as you just saw, I got some new camper steps mounted on the back of the camper here. My last video, I was in the process trying to figure out if I could find a way to make these stairs work without having to remove my trailer from the truck every time I wanted to get into the camper. And I think I've addressed that issue. I know I've addressed that issue. It's worked. We actually went camping. I'm gonna go over, in case you haven't seen the first video, basically it was just kind of explaining what my issue was as far as trying to get these camper steps that I had already built and were using, but unfortunately I wasn't able to use them with the trailer connected to the truck. I didn't want to have to take the trailer off every time I wanted to get in the camper. Anyway, you can go watch that first video. It kind of explains all the issues and concerns I was trying to address in making a set of camper steps. In this video, I'm just going to kind of go over everything and show you how they came out, how they work, and how I achieved basically what I wanted to achieve as far as the camper steps go. Let's check it out. All right, so the first thing you'll notice is I have the trailer mounted on, as I was explaining in that first video where I was building these stairs. I wanted to be able to leave my trailer on so that if I had a load in here, obviously when there's no load in here, it's not a big deal. I can just take this off, roll it out of the way, and it wouldn't be an issue. But if I have a four-wheeler in here, my four-wheeler, or if it's fully loaded with whatever, it's kind of a pain to try and disconnect it, especially if you're on the road and you're pulling over for a minute at a rest area or a truck stop or whatever, and you have to get into the back of the camper. I just don't want to have to deal with having to take the trailer off. So I wanted to find a way to take these stairs that I initially built, these right here, and mounted directly to the back of here, and they were obviously just mounted in the back here straight up and down. They came right straight down, and if you look at the first video again, you'll see how the steps were hitting over here. So basically, when I left the last video, I had already made the platform, but I hadn't got it done. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of go over, as you can see. I'm going to show you some of the features and some of the things that I built into these camper steps. Now, one of the first things in the last video, I noticed that when I had the stairs up, what I really liked was I was able to get that door closed without having to even deal with the stairs at all. Now, let me go ahead and put the stairs up and show you how they work. I put a piano hinge right in here. That allows the stairs to fold right up. And there's nothing fancy about it, basically just a little A-frame. And all I did was screw the stairs. And I had to get the angle just right. I'm gonna climb over the trailer here so that I would be able to clear the trailer down here and also be able to clear this ladder right here. So I was able to achieve that, and in the process, I'll show you here. So as you see, I was able to get the stairs folded up and they're out of the way. That itself works really well. And still get in to the camper, open the door. Did have a little clearance issue up at the top here, but I'm going to address that in a minute. I was able to put this 2x4 here, and this is all lumber I milled with the sawmill. And as I said, I built this frame. I put this 2x4 on here, which acts as a couple of different things. One, it's kind of a little handrail. When you're coming out of the camper, you can kind of use this as a handrail. Also, I made a little pin here, so that allows me to pin my stairs. So they're really sturdy to this here. And as I said, I got the piano hinge down on this here. Now, I also, underneath here, for a little more stability, I didn't just screw these. I also put some bolts, carriage bolts, all the way through. This 2x6 here, I don't know if you'll be able to see them here, but basically, they're not, so less chance if it was screwed on. I noticed there was quite a bit of flex, but with the bolts on there, this ended up being really sturdy. Put another brace up underneath here, and this deck here was actually, this is some red oak. And it looked really good when I got it on there initially. There was some red oak I cut and I thought it was dry, and it's since shrunk, which is not a problem. But one thing I discovered in camping was we were constantly tracking, as you can see, there's dirt here on here. So we're constantly tracking dirt into the camper. And one idea I came up with, I'm going to replace this wood deck with some kind of a grate that's going to allow the dirt to fall down through, so we're tracking less dirt into the camper. That shouldn't be too big of a project for me. I don't know if I'll get it done this year or not, but we're pretty much done with our camping for now. So one of the other things I wanted to do once I had this all figured out as far as how this is going to all work out and be able to accomplish basically what I wanted to do with the stairs, one last thing I wanted to be able to do was fold these stairs down. My issue right now is that works fine. As you can see, there's not too bad. Those stairs aren't too heavy. So it would work just fine if I left it just like that. And as far as, I had a little issue with opening the camper here. As you can see, it wants to hit right there, but I could have adjusted that, just pushed it out a little bit more and addressed that issue if I wanted to. However, my real goal was to see if I could figure out how to make these stairs fold in two. Let me show you how I accomplished that. I ended up cutting this right here. You might be able to see a cut. Put this little plate here on both sides, and basically that was kind of to help keep it together so there'd be less stress on the hinge. There's another piano hinge under here, and what I was finding was if I didn't have it perfectly on the ground stable, it was putting a lot of stress, and I figured that these little plates that I put on here kind of ties this back together again. So let me show you how this works here. So basically, because of that second hinge, I'm able to take this bottom half and fold them down. That allows me to make these stairs much more compact. And once I put slide my little pin in, now I've just basically cut the height of the stairs in half. And that just makes it not so much less weight on the back. Obviously, it doesn't change that, but it does definitely change as far as having this weight up here a little more, swinging around. As you're driving down the road, you're constantly, taking off and stopping and turning and corner. This is constantly flexing back here on that one hinge. So that pin I have in here really helps hold the stairs in place real well. So this little bar, this little 2x4 rail I put here really does two things. Help, as I said, holds this in place, the stairs, with this little pin I made, and then also as a handrail. The other thing that's nice about this now is I can get right in the camper. Now, I don't have a set of stairs over here, and I'm able to climb up there if I need to. As again, the only time I would not pull the stairs down is if we were stopped for a minute and I needed to jump in the back of the camper real quick to get a drink out of the fridge or some snacks or lunch, whatever. Just, it's easy access to the back of the camper. I don't have to go through a bunch of put the stairs down, take the trailer off, and all this other stuff. It's basically just come back here, open the door, and climb in. Now, I could put a little step here or something to help me, but basically I just kind of step on here and climb up. So I may make that a little more convenient as I go forward, but for right now, yeah, this folded stairs really worked out well. Let me show you what else I did here. My issue was there was still quite a bit of weight hanging out over the back here, and you're trying to support all this weight back here with whatever connection you have here to this back piece here. So I wanted to try and find a way to relieve the pressure on the connection here and support it back here. And what I did is I came up with this. I had this piece of, this is just a piece of, I think 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch pipe, gas pipe that I had kicking around. It's just a junk piece of pipe. And basically all I did was put it into, this is where a safety chain for the trailer goes in the hook right here. And that just kind of fit in there real nice. So it's supported right here. And I have it supported up here This one bar right here is really just doing a lot of the work as far as keeping this completely steady. I put this little cable on here with a pin only because I wasn't quite sure at the time, and you can see there's another screw right here, and that screw actually goes through the pipe up here. I didn't want this pipe to bounce and fall off going down the road, so I put this wire on here with a safety so that if for some reason something happened and this popped out, it wouldn't just hit the ground and bounce all over the road. It would be actually held up by this. I didn't have any problem. There's so much weight on here and I've got so much pressure on here. There's no way this is going to come out. I can barely move it as it is. And it's easy enough. I was thinking I could even put an adjuster in here if I wanted to, so I could screw this pipe and kind of level this deck out. I'm not too worried about it. It works really well, so I'm not going to play around with that too much. Let me show you a couple other features I made here. So I said I got a pin in here to hold these stairs up. I just put a washer on there with a pin, and that kind of holds that in place. I also put a tie down, just as I guess you'd say as a backup. I had a tie down strap wrapped around the stairs here back to the ladder. And that was just kind of a secondary precaution. I'm a kind of belt and suspenders kind of guy, I guess you'd say, where, you know, like this little wire right here, I really wasn't worried about the bar coming off, but you never know. I also put these adjusters here, these legs. I kind of explained that in the last video. I like these adjustable legs I put on here. This is just some extruded aluminum that I had sitting around here, and I was able to make these so that I can adjust them. What's nice about this is not only do they adjust, but as you can see, this whole unit, second half of the stairs here, kind of still moves around. And what I discovered I was able to do was I could push these in and kind of tighten them up and lock them down so that it kind of held this bottom part in place right here. And you can see it kind of clamping it down. I can slide this, tighten this knob up right here. And what that'll do is it kind of puts pressure on and holds it to this piece right here. So now it doesn't, well, it is right now, but that's only because I don't have it tight enough. But that kind of holds it in place. Like I said, it worked well the whole trip. Bottom here, you can see I also used a couple carriage bolts, so it's not just screws. That gives it a nice sturdy connection right there. And I also put another one, a support right up in here. And this middle support, I'm going to show you how this works here. So basically, when we get to our destination, we want to put the stairs down. All I have to do is pull this clip, pull this pin out. Stairs fold right down. Make my final leg adjustments at the bottom here. Once I get my stairs put down, I'll go ahead and put my plates on. And like I said before, basically what this kind of does is makes the stairs one piece again and takes out my guesswork as to whether or not I have everything kind of lined up properly. Once I get my clips put on, again, that makes the stairs basically one piece. Once I get the stairs reconnected, put them down, I'll adjust my legs, make sure I'm good and flat on the ground here. Takes all the wobble out. And I also ended up putting another support here. Not sure it's really needed. Wasn't sure if it was going to be or not, but I didn't want to find out halfway through my trip. And to be honest with you, I could probably do without it, but it gives it that little extra stability right where I cut it. So there's no question if when we're walking up and down, this is going to support anything I put on it. So that's the quick review of my homemade camper steps. And it came out really nice. I'm really happy with the way they work. Accomplished everything I wanted as far as being able to access the camper with the trailer on. They fold in half, they tuck away, they work great. Real happy with them. And it's just another piece to the camper that makes it that much more enjoyable whenever we want to go out. Thanks again, appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed this video of me making my stairs for the camper. And if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to leave them down in the comment section below. I'd be happy to try and help you with whatever I can. Nothing fancy here, just a homemade set of camper steps and make the camping experience a little bit better. We'll see you all in the next video. Take care.